happened since you left?
Anything? Is there something I'm not aware of, or oh, you're really asking?
No, yeah, nothing.
No, nothing. Boring.
We were just talking about Reynaldo Lopez. I mean, how deep he's gone into games. The innings are. I was thinking maybe he'd average 5 innings a start or something, but he's doing a normal workload.
He's 6 and 7 innings pretty much every day, and you know, I think it's just he's relatively efficient with his pitches and throws strikes and uses the whole arsenal, and got a good feel for pitching, I think, and you know, it's been really good. You know, I think it's been good that we've been able to give him the extra day all the time. I think he's had one time where he's pitched regular rest. And he seems to be getting into the swing of things of being a starter again.
And how about Sale, how he's accepted or embraced the start patterns, the rest patterns that he's been on too, rather than being an old guy that says, I want to pitch every 5
No, I know. He's been great about everything. I mean, and we talked to him. We're very upfront with him when, you know, telling him our reasonings for things, and he's all in. Most of, you know, if he wanted to pitch, obviously we're going to let him go. But just, you know, as you explain things and the big picture, I think, and because, you know, it's about him and his health also, trying to keep him upright and get a full season out of him for, you know, the first time in a couple of years that he's been able to do that. So, and he's responded really well. I think he feels really good, and it's you know, he's been great to work with, and just been fun watching him work. I know that.
Yeah, we always see, you know, Chris talking with Max Fried. He's always talking with a lot of the guys. What is it about him that has allowed him to so seamlessly fit into the group and also maybe take on one of the leadership?
Well, I just think he's so open and has such a simple approach. I don't think he's complicated. He doesn't try and make it complicated. I think he's a team guy. I mean, and too, I just was mentioning that he just really loves to being a ball player, and I see him in the weight room religiously every day, and I think he likes everything about this. When he walks through that clubhouse door, he loves everything that's associated with being a ball player, and I think it's what he is. He's a ball player. And I think people see that, and he, you know, he's a team-first guy. He wants us to be successful. He wants those guys to be successful, and you know, I think they're very remiss if they don't tap into what he's experienced and what he has to offer.
She mentioned him with Max. Have you seen those guys really kind of develop a bond? It seems like they have a lot in common.
Yeah, I know. I noticed them sitting together in the food room, eating and such, and you know, they're active on the bench talking, which all of them are. You know, they all kind of huddle together and, you know, talk about things. Not so much maybe during the game as after the outings are over, as they kind of digest things, and you know, it's been good. I mean, Max has had some pretty good people that's run through here in his career that's, you know, he could tap into, and now he's becoming one of those guys himself.
The extra rest for guys like Lopez and Sale, is there a point where they don't need that anymore?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's going to probably be a point where we're going to need them to you know, it's going to come that they're going to need to go on regular rest. And while we have the opportunity and the resources to do that, we're going to try and give him the extra rest, because we think down the road it's going to be beneficial for him. You know, it's like every now and then I'll get a reliever come in, it's like, I'm good today, and they pitch 2 days in a row. And it's like, no, we're not going to pitch you 3 days now, because come September, and you know what, these games we need to win, then we may have to do that. So we kind of gauge and look at the big picture in doing all that. And I think it's going to benefit them down the road when we need them to pitch on regular rest more.
Is there like an approximate goalpost that you have in mind? Like, is it after July 1st?
No, not really. I mean, just kind of more a big picture thing than like mile markers, I guess, along the way. And you know, I got a big schedule board in my office, and we'll pull that thing out and kind of you know, look at things and where we are and off days and all that. But you know, like I say, there's going to be a point where they're going to have to go on regular rest.
Going back to Sale being comfortable here, it seemed like George and Cranny had kind of engendered his trust, and he's kind of turning things over to them. And
No, I think so. Yeah, I think he understands. You know, I've heard him mention that George and the trading staff have been awesome with him as Cranny. You know, I mean, it's good to have an experienced guy like Cranny with, and you know, a guy that's been around and been experienced himself. So Cranny's been around a ton of those guys and and a lot of great ones over his time. And you know, I think Chris has a lot of respect to the fact that if Cranny's experience in what he's doing, and because Cranny's all about those guys. I mean, he checks with them every day. I mean, he's one of those that, you know, he wants to have that feel and that touch on them and see them and talk to them. And you know, as he surveys the area out there when those guys are stretching and throwing and all that, I mean, he checks in on each and every one of them every day. You know, then I'll get a report, or he'll come in and, you know, so-and-so's this or that, or everybody feels great, they want to go, and stuff like that. So it's invaluable when you have somebody that's so hands-on, I think, like he is.
yeah, he's mentioned the training staff. Yeah, almost every start, they've kept him upright.
Yeah. No, and I think he likes their style, too. I mean, I think probably every trainer has their own kind of ways of, you know, it's like all of us have ways we do things. It's how we do them because that's the way we know how to do them. And they're no different. I mean, George is one of the most experienced, and Jeff and that, you know, are one of the most experienced guys out there probably in the game. I mean, if you survey a lot of big league pitchers and players, George is probably right at the top, you know, that is still takes care of everybody and their families, and you know, and again, you're talking about a guy's been doing this a long time, is very experienced and seen a lot of different things.
Anything else?
Okay, thanks.